give you a call later on.
Thank you, Chad. We love you too.
All right, bye-bye. That's Bob McMillan, former football player from South Taylor High School, now Jim Ned High School, alma mater of Colt McCoy, the incredible quarterback, the Texas Longhorns. Eric, Greg, weigh in. Tell us some of the awards that have already come in for Colt and just in the last few days, and then who really are the main guys that are up for the Heisman, and why, in your expert opinion, has Colt absolutely sewn up that decision? What's it going to take in the Nebraska game for the voters to do the right thing and to vote him in as this year's Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, Colt's a finalist for just about every award, offensive award that's up there, and I think he's got a great chance at winning a lot of them. Obviously he's had a phenomenal year. As it relates to the Heisman, I think right now, after the game that Ingram had against Auburn, I think it's down to him and Tebow. Gearhart for Stanford has been sort of a latecomer, which there's been Heisman trophies winners that have won it late. He's certainly a fantastic talent, and he's a senior guy, which certainly weighs heavily with the West Coast voters. But I think right now it's down to I think Colt is clearly the front runner. I think Tebow's right behind him. I do think that the voters, some voters at least, are hesitant to give a second Heisman trophy out. Certainly Colt is deserving of that. In the second half of this season has really leaped him to the forefront of this race.
GB? I think it'll only help him, too. He just was named the Unitas Award winner, and that is the top senior quarterback in the country for this season. And I just don't – I think that what will end up happening is a lot of the Heisman voters will begin to see these accolades coming in for him and realize this guy really is the real deal, and he should be given this award. He deserves the award. He just also –
He deserved it last year.
Absolutely. He also just received AP Offensive Player of the Year out of the Big 12.
As well as first-team All-Big 12.
Right.
What other Longhorns, Eric and Greg, got some honors of the Big 12?
Well, we had, I believe we had 8 Big 12 conference players on offense and defense. I think in some cases on the defense, many people feel we were slighted a little bit, and I think that'll help us coming into tonight's game on defense. I think after the game we had against A&M and some of the players that were left off that list, players like Aaron Williams, who's had a phenomenal season on defense, certainly been banged up a little bit late, but shocked he didn't make it. But the players that you think, we had obviously a great offensive line, defensive line, got great representation. But again, having a great year means a lot more accolades, and I think that we're going to continue. We've got Sergio Kendall, who's up for a number of defensive awards. He's had
finalist for the Hendricks Award.
Yes.
Top defensive end.
And Lombardi as well.
Exactly, which is never heard of the Hendricks Award.
The big one.
We've heard about the big piece of granite given out in Houston.
That's right. Brian Arakpo.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Real quickly, before we go to Nancy about the Heisman, tell us what you think about the fans of Nebraska, how classy they are, what we can expect tonight in JerryJones.com Cowboy Stadium in Arlington.
It's so refreshing in college football, which to have fans like Nebraska. I've been to Lincoln twice. Seen 2 games live there. Watch the fans give Ricky Williams a standing ovation as he came off the field after they broke their long streak there. Unbelievable fans. I have some close friends that are Nebraska fans. They're very knowledgeable football fans, watch a lot of football. There's no professional teams there. And so they're just great fans, and I think it's going to be a great matchup tonight, and looking forward to talking pregame and postgame with those guys because they're very cordial and know a lot about football.
Exactly. We're so grateful for our primary sponsor, the Bank of Houston, Jim Stein, CEO, President, 6 Houston area locations, just a fine, independently owned, locally owned bank. Bank of Houston can be reached at 713-789-6100. Thank you also for all the folks that helped make this broadcast possible. HEB, Academy, Walmart, 24-Hour Fitness, and one of our title sponsors, Magnolia Oaks Bed and Breakfast, the Little Red House, Granny's Napping House, and the Lodge on Lake Siesta, owner Bob and Nancy Stiles. 979-732-1256. Nancy, tell us a little bit about Magnolia Oaks, the Lodge on Lake Siesta, and the Little Red House, and why Longhorn fans and those visiting the Columbus area need to come call y'all, come by and stay overnight or schedule their next reunion, wedding, special event, or party at Magnolia Oaks, the Lodge on Lake Siesta, or the Little Red House.
Columbus is really well known for historic preservation, and we're really proud that Magnolia Oaks was built in 1890. The Little Red House was built in 1865, and I think the Napping House was probably 1910. There are 2 historic markers, and of course, when you think about the environment, you really have to think about rest and peacefulness and serenity. The house, Magnolia Oaks, has 10-foot, 12-foot windows. There's lots of the outside brought in. It's one of those places that, really comfortable. King-size beds, fireplaces, private baths, all those good soaps and robes for everybody. We've just tried to think of places that you can escape. And the lodge, I love to say, you don't have to go anywhere to be somewhere to be at the lodge.
Exactly. The lodge in Lake Siesta on 4 acres in the Lost Pines of Bastrop with a wonderful Bass Lake. Coach Dave McWilliams, who called in earlier on Chad Dickson McMillan's Longhorn Letterman pregame show here on 98.3 KULM. The Styles have named the main suite with the bathroom painted burnt orange, the Coach Dave McWilliams Texas Longhorn suite. If you're interested in any of these wonderful properties, the Magnolia Oaks family of bed and breakfast, call Bob and Nancy Styles at 979-732-1256. They'll be very excited to talk to you, and we've got just a couple minutes left. GB, I want you to get your keyboards ready. We're going to get our horns up and sing the eyes of Texas. EJ, just one more time, what do you think about tonight's game? What are Longhorns going to have to do to pull off the victory against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, bring home the Big 12 championship, and what are your thoughts about the national championship? Who do you think we're going to be playing on January the 7th?
I like the Horns tonight. I do think that they've just got too much team speed, and I think they're hungry. Matt gets his second Big 12 championship tonight, and I think the Horns win it handily. I think it's a close first half, and the Horns run away in the second half on defense and finally get the offense
And
going.
I know you're going to be flipping back and forth. No, you're going to beat the game. The average folks are going to be flipping back and forth between the Alabama and Florida game and the SEC championship. Who do you think the Longhorns are going to be playing in January the 7th?
That game will already be played.
All right, then.
Yeah, it will be played, and I think the Horns will be playing Alabama.
All right.
In the Rose Bowl.
All right. I think it's going to be Tim Tebow versus Colt McCoy out in Pasadena. What do you think, Greg?
I'm going to take Alabama. I think Alabama's defense is just a little bit too good. I think they'll run the ball, control the clock, and run it out on them.
There's officially dissension here in the studio. Nancy, who do you think the Horns are going to be playing for the national championship?
Sorry, Chad. I think it's Alabama.
All right. It's consensus.
Roll Tide.
Three of my co-hosts are going to be wrong on that prediction. Greg Berry, we're going to sing The Eyes of Texas. We'll take it out. Thank you so much for listening to 98.3 KULM on the official Longhorn Sports Network is up next with Craig Way in the pregame show. Then 7 o'clock kickoff, the Nebraska Cornhuskers versus our Texas Longhorns in the Big 12 championship. Colt McCoy is going to seal the Heisman Trophy. The Longhorns are going to secure a bid in the 2009, actually played January 7th, 2010 BCS National Championship game on January the 7th in the Rose Bowl. And I believe Eric, Greg, and Nancy, we're going to bring home a national championship here. It's going to be outstanding. Get your horns up.
Absolutely.
The Eyes of Texas with Gregory Wayne Berry.
The eyes of Texas are upon you all the livelong day. The eyes of Texas are upon you. You cannot get away. Do not think you can escape them. At night or early in the morn, the eyes of Texas are upon you till Gabriel blows his horn.
One more time, the eyes. Here we go.
The eyes of Texas are upon you all the livelong day. The eyes of Texas are upon you. You cannot get away. Do not think you can escape them. From night to early in the morn, the eyes of Texas are upon you till Gabriel blows his horn.
Here we go. Texas!
Fight!
Texas!
Fight!
Texas!
Fight!
Texas!
Fight!
Hook 'em horns, Longhorns fans. Chad Dickson McMillan, 98.3 KULM. Longhorns, Letterman pregame show. Now here's Craig Way on the Longhorn Sports Network. And here's a little free ride. Texas Longhorns going to be the Big 12 champions tonight. And The national champions come January the 7th. Colt McCoy next Saturday. Heisman Trophy winner. God bless y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Chad Dickson McMillan, I'm out.